Okay, so just a quick wee video here, guys, to let you know where I'm at with my pressure sensor on my Prius C. I still haven't received my refrigerant, and I'm waiting for a desiccant bag and a couple of bits and pieces. But I'll just show you where I'm at with this for now. I found an aftermarket supplier of the switch, the one I told you that Toyota wanted $490 Canadian for, plus tax. This was 40 bucks. Right, there's the part number. This is widely available. This is the same part number that the SX4 uses, as luck would have it, right? Anyway, yeah, that's the one that came from the scrapyard, $20 as opposed to $490, and I wanted an aftermarket one as well. There's the part number, as I said, it's a UAC product. It's not straightforward as I was hoping it was going to be. This block came from the scrapyard, minus the brass plugs there, of course, guys, that I tapped and threaded in. I'll explain that in just a moment. My manual, I have the manual on a PDF format, but it's missing some material for some reason, including the replacement of the switch. So I was uncertain whether this had a Schrader valve underneath it or not, for the sake of, you know, removal. You don't want, obviously, refrigerant in your face. This is something you want to be aware of. And it turns out, as you can see, again, as luck would have it, I got the block from the car in the scrapyard that was smashed to bits, so the front end was torn off the car, so there was no worries about this having refrigerant in the system. And as you can clearly see, there is no Schrader valve. This is the exact same block as what's actually in the car. So that means when I replace this switch, I'm going to have to have the refrigerant recovered. I'm going to take that to a local shop to have it done, and then I'll do the rest myself, right? The evacuation, I'll change the desiccant bag, change the switch, of course, and put everything back together. But I wanted to hook this up, which I can do, obviously, and just hook it up to the car. But obviously this is going to be 0 psi. Because it's below 28 psi, the system will not operate, right? So I can't operate the system with this in situ to actually function. Obviously, it's no sense in the refrigerant pressure. But I have a high side pressure fitting right there, right? And I have a high side pressure fitting right here. This, of course, were lines before that I've cut off. I've tapped and plugged the ends and pressure tested it to 200 psi. And what I can do is I can remove the high side protective cap and couple a line on to the block side and this side to the car, essentially putting this, jumping this into the system so the system pressure will prevail at the transducer. And I want to see that on the scan tool. That's the plan anyway, guys, and I want to operate the system just to double check that I haven't overlooked everything. I'm quite confident that I'm on the right track here. But I don't want to be barking up the wrong tree. Perhaps there's something overlooked on the wiring, and, you know, deplenish the system for nothing. So I think the best way to go is, as I said, we'll jump this into place, both from a refrigerant pressure standpoint, and just swap the connector over, see what happens. Okay, so this is with the car in the original state, guys, with the sensor in the failed state. You can see we have in a static condition where the pressure, it's quite cool today. It's just above like 15 degrees in my garage Celsius. So the temperature in the system is probably 75 psi or so. Again, you have to do the conversion. Sorry about this, but this is 3,235 kilopascals, which is just under 500 psi. Well, that's clearly not an accurate sense of the actual pressure in the system. Again, that's why I have the pressure sensor. I've gone through this in the last video, but again, just kind of a recap of where we're at. Can't see a damn thing, an artificial eye. There's the system actually jumped in. The compressor operating, so pressure now it's actually sensing. Compressor target speed, actual speed. So that's the sensor, guaranteed. So once I get my refrigerant in and my other bits and pieces, I'll carry on with the replacement. That's it, boys. Cheers.